This is a true story called The Bead and the Spear, as narrated below. Once upon a time, there was a man called Akum. He migrated with his entire clan to the fertile land of northern Uganda from Sudan, where he settled and started a new life with his entire clan. This man Akum had two boys, Labong, who was the elder one, and Gipir, the younger one. They lived a beautiful life and grew into brave men. With time, Akum's life was deteriorating and his strength was weakening each passing day due to his age. So he called his elder son, Labong, to have a word with him. "My son Labong, I'm left with fewer time on this earth, and I hand over this legendary air spear to you, and you have to protect it with all your life till to the next heir," said Akum to his son Labong. And as in African cultures, heirs are usually the first male born. Labong promised his father that he will protect the spear with his life to the next generation, and not to let him down, since the legendary spear was a symbol of leadership in the entire clan. And when Akum passed on, Labong took over the authoritative roles with their clan as their new leader. Labong and Gipir, with time, both got married and had children, and one evening Labong had gone hunting. When huge elephant found its way from the nearby forest to their homestead, all the women and children ran to their respective huts in fear of the huge elephant. It started destroying their crops as well as their huts. Labong's wife screamed for help. Gipir, who was inside resting, woke up and saw the elephant destroying all their crops and smashing their huts. Without any thought, he ran to the hut where they keep their spears and randomly grabbed one, threw to the elephant, thus injuring it. And the elephant ran away with the spear stuck into its body back to the forest. All the women and children who had run into their respective huts came out and praised Gipir's braveness. Later on, after some hours after the incident, Labong returned back and found everyone talking about what had happened in his absence, and got briefed on how his brother Gipir single-handedly went against the huge elephant and how he managed to chase it away. This has not pleased Labong, because he wanted to have that praise of braveness since he was their leader. So he went to their hut, where spears are kept, and found out that his legendary spear was the one missing. This meant that Gipir had used the legendary spear which stuck into the elephant's body and ran away with it. Being a spear of air and had been through generations to generations, not forgetting the oath he made with his father of protecting it with his life, Labong demanded his brother, with no excuse, to go to the forest and search for the injured elephant and get back his legendary spear. Gipir pleaded, and even offered his spears to replace the one that got stuck in the elephant body, but was given a deaf ear by his brother Labong. Gipir thought of how he is going to trail the injured elephant in the forests that harbors dangerous animals, and with no alternative, he had to bid goodbye to his family, and off Gipir went off to the forest to search for the legendary spear. He spent a couple of months without any hope of tracing the legendary spear. He grew thin and weak each passing day because he wasn't feeding well and sleeping in fear of his life while at night in the forest. His legs and hands got filled with wounds which were worsening each passing day. He cursed his brother for bringing him to that situation and thought of his family with imagination, that they will never see him again since he had reached to an extent where he could hardly move due to diseases, worsening wounds, and starving. However, an old woman who was gathering her herbs in the forest saw Gipir lying lifeless in the middle of the forests, and she came to his rescue, took him to her house, which was also deep in the forests, and started nursing and treating him till he finally healed and got back to his feet. He narrated to the old lady about his distressing story, so the old lady promised to provide him shelter and food as he searches for the legendary spear. And one day, while they were in the forest, they came across a pile of huge skeletons, and on moving closer to know what exactly had happened, they realized that the piles of skeletons were bones of an elephant. Gipir moved more closer, and he saw the legendary spear with the elephant bones. Finally, he found the spear and couldn't believe his eyes, and the elephant he had speared had succumbed to spear wound and died. Gipir was very happy, and the old woman was glad that he finally found the spear he was looking for, but she was sad that he was soon leaving her. Since she had got used to having Gipir around, and in showing her appreciation, the old woman gave Gipir a number of special beads. The beads were very stunning, with magnificent colors. Gipir got so appreciative of the beads and saw them as a reminder of the old woman who came to his rescue and what he went through while in the forest. He then thanks the old woman and bid his farewell. Then he trekked through the forest for days and eventually returned home. Everyone body was happy to see him alive, more especially his family, and handed over the legendary spear to his brother Labong. Despite of what had happened, they both missed each other, and festivities were made in rejoice for Gipir coming back home, alive with the legendary spear, and the clan was united again. Gipir showed the entire clan his beads that were given to him by the old woman he met in the forest and represented his endurance and kindness to humanity. He loved to stretch them into a beautiful pattern, and one day, Gipir placed his beads down on the ground and went to hut to look for a thread. Labong's youngest and loved daughter started playing with the beads and put one in the mouth and accidentally swallowed one of them. The other children saw what had happened and they called Gipir and reported the incident of Labong's daughter swallowing one of his beads. Gipir got bitter and saw this as a good time to revenge and went to Labong and told him what had happened, demanding for his bead at that very moment. Labong to his brother that they wait until his daughter Defikate, that the bead will come. But Gipir insisted that he wanted his bead. That very moment, furious Labong got a knife and cut up his little 2-year-old daughter and retrieved the bead from her stomach, and he couldn't believe his own brother could make him kill his daughter for a mere bead. And it was like the roles had reversed, and this time round, someone had to lose a child. From that moment, Labong said to Gipir that you are no longer my brother, and both brothers decides to part ways, while Gipir and those who believed in him, plus his family, took to the west of River Nile, while Labong and family, plus those clans members who took him as their heir, took to the east of the River Nile. The more of this story is about forgiveness, and had Labong forgave his little brother, then in the long run, a life of a child wouldn't be lost.